The Lord called me to Vermont in November of 2013, and I was instantly fearful. I was studying through the book of Deuteronomy, where God is trying to send his people out to do huge, great things for his name, and he says, I called you and I saved you because you were a small people who needed me and not a great people, so he wanted to grow them for his glory. And in Deuteronomy chapter 2, the people are afraid and they actually want to go back into slavery in Egypt, and they felt more comfortable even being enslaved to Pharaoh. And Moses' response to them is, your God knows that you're in this great wilderness. And so instantly, as I was battling with this idea of going to Brattleboro, Vermont, a place that's extremely hard to reach, that verse comforted me, teaching me, your God knows that you're in this great wilderness. He knows where you are, and he's got you.
You know, when God uses people in an extraordinary way, it's inspiring. And when I met Mitch and we talked about what God is calling him to do in the next journey of life, it inspired me. And I think we're all inspired by great acts and great attempts for great things for God. In the community that I live in, there's about one church for every 2,500, 3,000 people. The need in the Northeast is so significant and so great that that ratio is 1 to many multiple over thousands. And I'm inspired that God has placed on the heart of Mitch and their team to not only reach that specific community they're going to, but God has placed a vision on their heart to reach the entire Northeast New England area with the gospel. And that's awesome. That's incredible. I want to encourage you to get behind the movement of God that's happening in the Northeast, financially, prayerfully. Join us in what God wants to do.
So man, I'm just thrilled to hear about this big giant expedition to go up into some uncharted territory with the only message that can help remedy the problem of the human heart. And that's the story of Jesus and the gospel of Jesus. When somebody has a dream and a passion to go do something like this, it takes an economic engine to sustain the initiatives where there can be sequential ministries that happen for a long time. Vermont, New England, they don't need a flash in the pan. They don't need just a little show. They need a plant, a church plant. Well, a church plant helps people prepare for everyday life, so that they can live it all out, heaven on earth, and continue to just echo this incredible love of God to their friends, to the people that they work with, to their neighbors. So this is a great opportunity for some good God stuff to happen, and we encourage you to be involved in it. God bless you.
I'm so proud to talk about my friend Mitch and the opportunity that you and I have to serve him as he goes and travels to Vermont to serve the people that live there, the least reached people in the United States. I love Mitch, and I'm thankful for the influence that he's had in my life as a friend and as a man of God. And so as my friend, I'm going to be giving of my prayer and my time and my resources to make sure that Mitch is fully capable of doing exactly what it is that God has called him to do, and that is to go to Vermont, to start a church, to share the gospel, and to love people. And I urge you as his friend to serve him in the way that you can. And through serving Mitch, we are actually bringing the gospel to these people and loving on these people.
My wife and I always thought that we were going to be international missionaries and really wanted to take the gospel where it had never been, where there were unreached peoples. And about 3 years ago, God showed us the need in New England, that in Vermont, it's the least religious state in the entire country, and it's on average about 2 to 3% evangelical. Soon after we were called to move to Brattleboro, we started praying that God would build a team of people that would be willing to lose their lives for the sake of the gospel, to leave the comforts of home and family and the things that they knew, to sacrifice it all for the sake of the glory of Jesus in this least reached corner of our country. I was so pumped and almost didn't want to believe it when Mitch said that he was willing to go, because I thought it was too good to be true. He's really able to do everything because he loves people with all of his heart, and we sort of joke around about that. Mitch, at the end of the day, if he's going to describe his strengths, he just says, you know what, I just love people. And I can just affirm that in Mitch, and he is going to be an incredible asset to whatever church he serves and wherever he goes, because he loves people with the love of Jesus Christ. And so from the very beginning, since we found out about the need, we were first invited to be a part of what God's doing in Vermont, and now I extend that invitation to you. The vision of Rivertown Church is to be disciples who make disciples of Jesus for the glory of God and the joy of all peoples. So our heart is not that the move of God would stop in Brattleboro, but that it would be a move of God that's a catalyst to take the gospel to the ends of the earth.